Hey ladies and gents, before we start the video, just want to remind everybody to please click that support button. This is huge, especially because this is a beginner's guide and a return player's guide. And for those who are returning and playing brand new, this support system is going to be huge for you, especially because we're sending out codes as content creators to you to help you advance further in the game much faster, getting you essence stones, free custom tickets to summon, and other things that will help you advance. So click that support button. Every single day I do send out codes. You'll be getting codes through this system right here. You just gotta log into the My page and then get your codes under the coupon history. Click that button, guys. Let's get on with the video. What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to another SLA video. Get ready, strap in. It's gonna be a long one. We're gonna be doing a brand new updated return player and brand new player guide for you because I think there has been so many changes that has been going on in this game that it does need another update, and these ones are always fairly long. So let's talk a little bit about everything you should do as a returning player or as a brand new player. Now, returning players, I want to address this real quickly because many of you have been coming back due to the anime. Many of you guys have been asking, hey Payne, I haven't played this game for months. Should I restart? Should I continue my account? My simple answer to that is this. If you were a whale, continue your account. If you're a free-to-play player, you're welcome to start new depending how your account was. If you don't have many good SSRs, or if you just want to redo some of the currencies and start over, I think starting over is actually a really good choice because it allows you now to focus on the meta team. So that's what we're going to talk about first. As a brand new player, what should you focus on? Or as a returning player, what you should focus on? The first thing, guys, you should all be focusing on is simply this: getting your trophies as high as you can, getting all the story modes done, whether it's reverse, whether it's story normal mode or hard mode. Now, completing this is big because number one, every single story that you complete, you'll get yourself essence stones, resources, plus every single 100% you'll get 7 custom draw tickets. That's right, and there's a lot of custom draw tickets to be had. And plus, as you complete and get the trophies, you'll also get these battle mission achievement rewards, which give you a ton, and I mean a ton of resources plus summoning currency that you could use. So this is going to be your number one goal. Plus, you'll get the most amount of EXP from here, especially hard mode. Hard mode will definitely push you with the most amount of EXP. Plus, with hard mode, instead of getting regular summoning tickets, you get yourself the actual weapon summoning tickets, which we'll talk more about later. And then reverse mode, you actually get the raid up tickets, which you will be able to use to get special characters as they are released or rerun banners as they are released. And this is great because reverse mode gives you a ton of resources outside of EXP. It's the only place that doesn't actually give you experience points. Plus, they're actually adding hard mode here very soon. So more ways to get resources. So the first thing, guys, as brand new players or returning players, get all of this done in 100%. To give you a little bit of an idea how easy it is to do, on my free-to-play account when I restarted just for fun, I was able to finish all of normal and hard and reverse within 2 weeks. Not even. I think it was like 12 days. I was able to finish the entire thing. So that is going to be your number one goal. Now, don't neglect other things as they open up. Of course, as you are playing the game, you're going to have to fight various monsters and bosses to collect loot. Your goal is simply to do this, guys. Right now, there's a great feature here that allows you to fight a certain tier to level up. Now, for new players, you're going to probably want to start a tier 11 to be able to get at least some of these purple gear to get your characters leveled up. And if you can push it to 12, even better, because 12 starts dropping legendary gear, and the actual requirement for 12 is very small. So you can start at 12 and push your way as far as you can, but do not do every single tier anymore. What you want to do, guys, is do the highest tier that you possibly can, and every other trophy will come for free, which means you don't have to waste your keys on getting these trophies done anymore. Okay, so this is a goal. Make sure, depending on your combat power and your units, you try to do the highest tier possible. Don't focus on those smaller tiers anymore, and all the trophies that come with it and all the essence stones and everything will automatically given to you on that battle. It's a great quality of life feature, and it's something that everybody should be focusing on and getting done. Okay, so if you want to check out on each boss which best units to use, I have a guide for every single boss is free to play. Definitely go check that out, but you definitely want to focus on your encores and instances to gear up your units, including SJW. Okay, so very important to note that. Now, while you're doing this, you're also going to unlock the Battlefield of Trials. Battlefield of Trials is a fantastic way to gain essence stones and a great way to get gold and other resources throughout the game to help you level up. This is a no-brainer. You should be doing both the player side and the hunter side, and again, it contributes to your overall trophy count. The challenges is a great way to get essence stones for summoning, but it does not contribute to your overall count, but it's a great way to get essence stones plus gold and other resources. So again, Battlefield of Trials is something you definitely want to focus on. So whenever you hit that cap for EXP and you can't go any further, that's the time to start doing Battlefield of Trials and other things, okay? While you're doing this with Battlefield of Trials, you also want to make sure that every single day, this is very important, your gates are done. Now, gates are an extremely valuable part of the game. They give you enhancements for weapons, armor enhancements, they give you EXP, a ton of gold, and it all depends on the gates that you're farming. So as a new player, you want to farm blue gates for enhancement material at first, plus you want to farm yellow gates for gold. That's going to be one of your main things to do. Yellow gates are huge. Once you start unlocking the gates where you can do reds, which you're going to have to do when you join a guild anyways, you want to at least want to do one red gate a day, and then you want to move on and start doing purple gates when you can start getting special designs. Special designs are used specifically for enhancing and advancing your actual weapons further in level. Okay, so very, very important. Now for free-to-play players, you can eventually skip B's, C's, and D's, but you can't skip A's and S's without buying the pay-to-win package, the monthly pay-to-win package. So if you plan to be a spender, that's a good place to start, and we'll talk more about the shop very shortly as well too, and what you should invest in. After I've completed this gate, I'm going to talk a little bit about mining and what mining does and why it's so important, and then after that, we're going to talk about what you should have in your summoning draw at first, and we're going to talk about the meta teams and what teams you actually want to put your effort into, and which ones are going to take you the furthest. And I think that's very important because a lot of people, when they first start, don't know where to start or how to start or what they should be focusing on. And I'm going to help you guys kind of direct that focus properly so you guys can get the proper content done and complete this the right way. Now, if you are a new player, I'm letting you guys know now, you guys can finish most content, most raid content especially, within the first 3 weeks of playing. The only thing you won't be able to tackle is the hardest new workshop or brilliant light, which we'll talk more about as well when we get into the cores. Okay, so you guys can see here I finished one of these stages, right? You'll get the resources here right there. You get yourself shades right here. These shades are allowing you to summon your shadows, which are very important, and you get other material like abyssal fragments, which allow you to level up your shadows and do more of that. So in the beginning, guys, blue gates, red gates, purple gates, yellow gates, they're all going to matter. Focusing on blue to get your material up, in my opinion, is probably the first thing you want to do. And then from there, you want to make sure you complete all of your gates because you want to get this free EXP. For the first 3 days, they give you this extra bonus to get the subscription package for free. Take advantage of that, okay? Now, when you complete a gate, you're going to be able to mine. Mining allows you to do a couple different things. First off, get resources such as these lower tier mana crystals, which allow you to craft. And if you do A's and S's, it also gives you essence stones. So the more you can do A's and S's, the better it is for your account. Okay. Now, like I said, when you start playing the game and you start doing C's, B's, and stuff, you can skip these as a free-to-play player by using points from your units. If you don't want to and you want to get essence stones and you are free to play, you're going to have to either auto them or play them yourself. But you guys can see right here, I'm doing the blue ones, and blue ones will give me the material I need to level up my character's weapons and armor. Okay, so super, super important, guys. Gates, always 10 out of 10 if you can. And eventually when you join a guild, you absolutely want to buy all of the guild keys that you can for free using your guild points to get as much EXP and resources from gates, because that's one of the only places after you hit a cap on story mode that you can actually continue getting EXP, and it's going to serve you very, very well in the long run. Okay, so very, very important. And don't forget to always log in, mine, and get these done for yourself. They have to be done manually. All right, now let's go to the draw. This is going to matter a lot. Now, there's a 50-50 in this game. If you're summoning for a character, the rate up character, and you lose the first time on getting her or him, you'll get a 100% chance to get them the second time. Okay, so there is a 50-50 and there is a pity. The pity is 80 right there. You guys can see 70 out of 80, and the rate increases starting at 60. So the increment of getting the character will increase. Now, for your essence stones, all of it should be saved for summoning this section. Nothing else. All your essence stones is specifically for summoning. The custom characters, on the other hand, you get to choose up to 4 characters or 4 weapons or a mixed bag of 1 out of 3, 2 of 2, etc., whatever you want. The thing you should start with here always is the fire team. The fire team right now is currently the meta team. The next team in line will be the light team. So depending on what you want to do, right now, Kanae, Essel, and Gina or Yusuyun are the best 4 units in the game, the fire team. Okay, so that is going to be the best quote-unquote squad that's going to get you the furthest. Now, when you hit Vulcan, there are a couple stages that fire is absorbed, but if you can overpower it, you can actually bypass the whole mechanic, but that's going to be hard for a lot of newer players. So the light team is another very safe investment with Gunhee, Thomas, and Min, or Gunhee, Cha, and Min, but Thomas is the better option, of course. And then, of course, if you want another team and you're into the Wind team, that's probably the safest team until the newest Workshop of Brilliant Light, and you get a copy of Woo already as it is for free, and that would be Mirai, Hansime, and Woo. Okay, so those are the characters, the 3 teams you ideally want to build, but right now, Fire Team by far is the best team with Kanae especially, and for a new player and returning players, you absolutely want to have dupes. Dupes are super important. Okay, right now, if you want to compete for endgame content, everyone needs to be at least minimum advancement 5, which means you need 5 dupes of a character. Is that hard to get for free to play? No, it's not. As a matter of fact, this is my free to play account. You guys can see I have not spent a penny on this account, and most of my characters are either duped up to 9. Some of them are 10. No, actually, none of them are 10. 9, 8, 5s, 7s, etc. Right? So it's not impossible, especially as a free-to-play player, to advance and do really, really well, but you have to focus on a specific team. So the lineup for me would be Gina, Yusuyun, 2 weapons of your choice. You can either put the fan and the bow if you want to go with that, or the 2 more popular choices are always Moonshadow Daggers and the Plum Sword. Those are the universal weapons. I would highly recommend go check out the tier list that I have for weapons and hunters and kind of figure that out, but those are going to be the best teams. Now you guys can see here there's a weapon custom draw as well too, which only allows you to get weapons, which is fantastic. So the draw history here works out a little bit better. You get a choice of SR weapons or SSR weapons. You get to choose 2 of your options. This is where I would choose Moonshadow Daggers and the Plum Sword, and then here you can double dip and do both. Okay, so those are the things you want to do for draws. Now, if you're going to be pay to win, you also have a special summon draw that pops up. Let's quickly get this, and you can spend a little bit of money here to guarantee yourself at least 2 SSRs that will pop up here, whether it's weapon or characters. Highly recommend if you're going to go pay to win, this is definitely the ones you want to go for, because it will help you start really, really quickly. Okay, so make sure you do that, guys. Now, if you're looking for the best possible artifacts for your characters, if you look at my channel, guys, there is definitely a tier list for the newest artifacts. I've already gone ahead and put that together for you, and it's right over here. If you look at the artifact list, I put together a brand new best and backup artifact sets for every hunter with timestamps, so whoever you get, you can go see what gear you should be looking for. And if you're looking for what the rotation is for a character or what the best stats are for a character, let's say Thomas Andre, all you gotta do is click on recommended stats under the gear set here. It'll tell you defense, damage increase, critical hit damage, and that's what you want to focus on with your gear. I go into further details on all these characters. You can always check out any of my videos. It's always going to be there. Now, for rotation and skills, just so you are aware, as a new player, every hunter has skills. You can level up those skills to increase their percentages and the damage they do. And the rotation for your characters are under the skill guide here, and it'll tell you exactly how you want to play the character, and they're absolutely accurate. So definitely click that button, guys, and it gives you an overview of what the character does and also tells you what they recommend you to level up in terms of skill order. You'll actually see a little bit of an arrow here, and that is actually what you should focus on in terms of leveling. They are very, very accurate for doing that. Okay, so I just want to make sure that we're on the same page on that one. All right, sorry guys. So that's how that works. So every hunter's skill will matter. As you level up skills, their power will also increase, right? You guys can see not only the percentages, but their overall combat power increases. And that's very important to note, because combat power will dictate how much damage you do in a fight. Now, let me explain how that works. So let me go to the newest Workshop of Brilliant Light over here. You guys can see I've completed it already, Now, let's just say I'm doing the hard mode. This requires 1.25 million. Now, if I don't have 1.25 million or above, I'm penalized, which means my stats are lowered, which means I'll do less damage, which means all of my stats are going to be reduced. If I'm in the red combat power, which means I don't meet anywhere near the combat requirement, I'm penalized even further. So you want to do your best to make sure that you do level up the skills of SJW and the hunters. Speaking of SJW, he has a different set of skills. He has something called ruins, right? So in these ruins, give you different elements, give you different effects, and you want to read them all. So these are going to be all of his skills that are currently in the game. You guys can see underneath these skills, there are ruins. There's 3 tiers of ruins at the moment. There's a rare, which is a blue, there's a purple, which is the heroics, and then there is the legendary ones, which are yellow. As you go up in tiers, the more damage you'll do, the better the effects will be. So for example, an easy one here is going to be Vacuum Wave. Vacuum Wave does more damage at the legendary, will actually also provide more damage taken by the opponent, where it's 15%, and I believe the heroic only gives you like 10. So very, very important to get these up. You can also level up his skills. His skills level up, they will do more damage, and they will increase in terms of their effects. So very important, guys, to remember to level up your skills, especially on the ones you're going to focus on. So that's a big one. You will also have this stat sheet that the normal hunters don't have. The stat sheet, currently the meta is make sure that your attack is high as possible and your precision is at 99%. If you click this little hourglass right here, you guys can see I'm at 98% because I leveled up. I'm missing maybe like 20 points into there, but your gems will make up for that for the most part. You also want to make sure your crit hit rate is above 9,000. That's right, there's an over crit capacity. The higher the level the monster, the less likely you are to crit, even if your crit is capped. So over critting is very, very important. So make sure you want to check out that video. I talk more about over critting in a whole different video and explain it. And also your crit hit damage, you want at least to be about 200% if possible. And then your defense penetration, your damage increase will also increase based on your gems and on your gear. So very important, guys, to make sure that works. Now, for SJW, attack percentage works better for the most part because he scales off of 2 weapons while hunters scale off of 1. All right, so very important to remember that from a stat perspective. It's additional attack for hunters, attack percentage for SJW. All right, now as you play the game and you level up, you're going to unlock additional blessing stone slots. As you get more blessing stones, you'll be able to equip attack blessing stones and I guess buffing blessing stones, and then survival ones. Very important to remember, blessing stones play a major factor in this game as well as skills, and in order to get more of those, you want to use the fusion system. You'll collect these this ruin fragments and blessing stone powders that you'll be able to convert into those skills, and then eventually, as you get dupes of those skills, you'll be able to go into the heroic and the legendary versions. You can check out a whole video on those, which ones are the best skills, which ones are the best blessing stones in any of my videos that I have on the channel. So please go check that out. Now, as you advance in the level, you've got your blessing stones, you got your skills, you've unlocked your ultimates. With SJW, you're also going to unlock different jobs. As you level up and meet certain requirements, you'll be able to do different jobs and different battles with different costumes that will be provided, plus additional sweep points and more power increase by giving you stats points to put towards your stats. So you guys can see here, clear story mode chapter 23, clear battlefield of trials 40, reach 150k power for SJW. So very important, guys, to focus on the different levels of content, as I mentioned, in order to unlock more jobs, in order to just get more power. So very, very important. Now, as you progress, you're eventually going to unlock cores. Cores are a great way to boost your attack power, boost your defense, boost your HP, and boost additional stats like crit hit damage, crit hit rate, crit hit damage, defense penetration, damage increase, MP reduction, etc. Right? Cores play a big part. Now, in order to get cores, you have to do the Workshop of Brilliant Light. This is the single player raids that are going on, and each of these raids will drop the actual cores for you. Starting with Vulcan, which is the easiest, easy, normal, and hard, and then going into Baron, eventually dropping the Spirit one. So the Vulcan will only drop the first 2 cores. The last core start dropping on normal mode for Baron, and this is actually fairly easy to achieve within a few weeks, and you should be able to do Baron easy and normal and hard mode with everything that you have. So make sure, guys, cores are a big factor. Don't rush to get to here. It's going to be a lot more difficult to do, but there are new cores here that Baron and Vulcan do not offer, with different sets and different passives. Now, a couple things about cores I do want to talk about. When you equip a core on a character, SJW, in order to get the passives, must have the SJW sign. If I give him someone else's, for example, well, like a wind one, he will not receive the passive. So the element and the picture has to match the character. So make sure, guys, you do that, all right? Now, let's go to weapons. We talked about SJW weapons. Very, very important to note. The more dupes you get of weapons, the more you can unlock their true potential and their passives, right? Passives play a major part, as they do with hunters. They do the same thing with weapons. For SJW, the main weapons you want to focus on, as mentioned before, are going to be Plum Sword, Moon Shadow Daggers, the DKD, which is the Demon King Daggers. If you can, get the Grimoire. And then lastly, just to give yourself a little bit more utility, getting the bow with the fan if you want to go full fire team with him, or getting yourself the Wukong staff, aka the Divine Quarterstaff. Those are all going to be very important parts of the game, and those are currently the best weapons. Go check out the weapon tier list. You'll know exactly what you need to do. Hunters work the same way, but there's no way to summon for their weapons. You actually end up having to craft them in the crafting system right here. You guys can see SRs can get SSR weapons, and SSR characters can get SSR weapons. When a raid up character is introduced, there's an event that allows you to get their weapons for free by just participating. But as those raid up units are gone, you then have to now craft either SJW weapons using these blue ones, or craft the hunter's weapons using these red tickets, which you can get throughout the game, and also getting these fire mana power crystal, which you can get through gates and buying them through the shop. So very straightforward, but you also want to dupe the characters. They don't get different passes. What they actually get is their passive skill just increases, okay? So for example, This one here is a 3. If I were to advance this, right, you'll see the 8% becomes 10% at 5 instead, right? And right now, because it's not at 4, it's only doing 7%. So it's very important, guys, to increase and advance the character's hunter weapons as well, and that will also boost your overall power. Now, as mentioned before, for hunters, they don't have a stat sheet, but they do have something called growth system. Right over here, you guys can see I can grow this character. Growth upgrades increase the HP, attack, and defense and other stats for your character. So it's very important to focus on specific characters and grow them. And I'm going to say this now. Focus on one team at first. Fire team right now is the meta. You can go full fire team with Gina, Essel, and Kanae or Yusayun. Or the second team would be light. Make sure you don't run yourself thin on going through all the resources for multiple characters. Just focus on one team at a time, guys, and let that team carry you. And then you can start focusing on a second team after that, all right? Now, cores work the same way for hunters, except they're elemental based. Remember, this passive does not apply because it's wind and he's light. And the different sets matter quite a bit. So go check out all the sets that I provide in that, remember, that artifact video that I mentioned, and remember to level up your character skills to boost their power even further. All right, so that is going to be it right now. For free-to-play players, a lot of you are going to be very disgusted at the fact that it costs money to unequip gear. Wait for these events to pop up, the free gold discount, and you can unequip and re-equip gear there. It only costs money now when you unequip up to level 15 and above, I believe, if that's still the case. I don't even remember anymore. It's been so long. I don't even think about it anymore. So that's a very important one. Now, dailies and weeklies. Make sure you do this every single day. I have a video to cover how to get these done quickly. Go check that out. And also, when you join a guild, you can double dip with your dailies with the guild dailies and get them done even quicker. So very, very important, guys, to put a little bit of effort into completing this. It is extremely valuable to you to know this, that in the beginning you want to do as many encores and instances as you possibly can to get gear. Gear is going to help you grow. Gear is going to help you advance, and gear is what makes you go further in the game. So you absolutely want to do the clear dungeons and instances one as much as you possibly can. Eventually, when you run out of gear needs, then you can start skipping that one and do the other dailies to complete it. But in the beginning, guys, this is your focus. And also remember, every single week the boss changes, right? So if you're having struggle with one boss, start doing instances instead, and then focus on the other bosses coming up next week, and focus on encores after that. It's up to you. Now, as you continue playing, you're also going to have the secret library section, right? Secret library is a great way to get yourself more resources, as well as unlocking character storylines and getting essence stones, plus at the same time unlocking some characters' skins. Right over here, for example, Kanae can get the skin for free just by doing her secret library. Secret library allows you to use the character for free, plus gives you bonus points for additional characters that are associated to that character. So for example, Mirai is her student, and Akari is on the same team. So if I use both of these characters, it allows me to get extra points through doing this content. Now, this secret library is super easy. You can set it on auto. It'll take care of itself for you, and make sure you do that, okay? Now, another big feature, of course, is going to be Battlefield of Time. So let me go back out of here, and you'll unlock this as you play the game. Battlefield of Time allows you to fight essentially the PvP aspect of the game. All right, and Battlefield of Time essentially it pits you against a boss, and you have to kill that boss, doing it as quick as possible. And as you do, you get resources, you'll get yourself points, and then at the end of the run, you'll get yourself these time bonus, or I guess they're time tokens, Battlefield time tokens, which you can spend at the shop for free and get yourself valuable things such as right over here, rate up draw tickets every month, custom draw tickets, marks of time, which we'll talk about the armory, getting yourself hunter exclusive weapon design tickets for getting your SSR hunter weapons, and other things along the way. So if you want to know what to shop here, I have a guide on this. You guys can go check it out. And this exchange shop here is also for free-to-play players to look at, because you can use a lot of the free things you do from summoning or get from just playing the game, and you can invest it into this and use it for your free-to-play account. So highly recommend, guys, going into here very often and checking out what they have to offer, okay? I have a pay-to-win shop guide as well. Go check that out if you want to be a pay-to-win player. Just please, of course, spend responsibly as always, all right? So Battlefield of Time, very, very important. So the faster you kill the monster, you'll get a rating for it, and then every single season, you'll be able to get yourself certain currencies that you can use towards getting other things. Now, Battlefield of Time also offers a weekly challenge. You can kill these weak bosses here very quickly, and then you get a record, and then each boss you kill will also drop things like armor enhancements, give you guys power elixirs plus gold, and you can do this all the time, guys, every week, and I highly recommend you do it, because a lot of good stuff comes from here. Plus, every week when you complete and get your ranking, more ranking rewards are provided to you right over here by just playing the game. So definitely focus on this. It is a big one. Now, as you're doing Battlefield of Trials and Battlefield of Time, you're going to unlock Power of Destruction. This is a weekly event now, by the way. You can do this anytime. They give you 2 elements. You fight the dragon. Go check out the POD videos that I've made. As free to play, you put together a team, and it's you and your team with SJW against this dragon. You just try, it's pretty much a DPS run. Do as much damage as you possibly can, and then you're ranked every single week, and they give you insane amount of rewards weekly, which you will be able to get like Essence Stones, weapon designs, rate up tickets, summoning tickets, etc. So definitely do that and make sure you focus on that. Now, a new thing was introduced recently called Simulation Gate. Simulation Gate allows you to do this different tier of difficulty, and as you do these tiers, you're able to get these discs which allow you to trade in for currency and different items here, for example, special weapon tickets, hunter exclusive designs, and other things as well. But you'll also be able to get these magic crafting compendiums, they're books, and this allows you now to enhance your gear, or enchant your gear, I should say. So when you see this little green dot here, these are gear that have been enchanted. This is gear that has not. So if I enhance, now I can enchant using these books, and this will increase with RNG the actual substats of that gear, never the main stats, just the substats. So simulation plays a major role in increasing the quality of your gear and the amount of power you get. So you absolutely want to focus on this. They are going to be resetting it next month, and no longer will be beta. It'll be considered normal mode. So go check out the simulation guides that I have out there. They'll really help you a lot through this. And then lastly, guys, the two major things left here are going to be the guild boss. When you join a guild, you want to do this guild boss on a weekly basis. It will allow you to get a lot of guild tokens, at the same time allowing you to get yourself free weapon enhance or weapon draw tickets like this right here. Let me just show you guys. Right there, weapon draw tickets, right? You get 5 of them a week. You get gate keys once a week. You can get yourself Workshop or Brilliant Light tokens and additional things, including a free SSR weapon in terms of the Truth Demon Knight Spear. Highly recommend, guys, you put all your efforts into doing this guild boss, plus your guild will appreciate you more because everybody will get great rewards at the end of the day. And then lastly, we have the gem system when it comes down to content. Every single few days, every day actually, new gems will unlock. There is attack gems, defense gems, HP gems, precision, crit damage, and defense penetration gems. Then there is defense damage reduction gems, and then there's speed and mana and MP reduction gems, right? So you'll do these, and then you'll get these gems here, and you'll unlock them with the gem system once you finish chapter 15. And you guys can put the gems in here and get additional stats for yourself and the hunters. Yourself being SJW. If you need to know what gems to focus on, I have a full guide on the best meta gems out, so you definitely want to do this. Never let these get to 10. Always focus on completing these. Plus, at the same time, guys, you'll get yourself Essence Stones along the way. All right, now that's complete. The next thing we're going to talk about is your battle tier. Your battle tier essentially is what your total power is with your best squad and best gear. And the more battle tier you get, essentially you get more Essence Stones and gold from there. This is a very important one, and it will allow you to further your CP, your combat power, which means you'll have less struggle with a lot of the content, right? Everything in this game is related to combat power. If you lack combat power, you're not finishing content. All right, Army of Shadows. How do shadows work in this game? So you summon your shadows. Army of Shadows, you will unlock these shadows slowly through time, and each shadow has something that they offer. For example, Igris provides you with this following skill, right? His passive. The shadow's crit hit rate and critical hit damage increased by 2.5%. This is when you unlock his weapon, but his basic shadow is he gives you crit, right? If you use him as your main shadow. So the main shadow what we're referring to, let me go to manage team, is right over here, your shadow leader, right? So this right here, the shadow authority. They will give you a specific passive that you will get while using them, specifically in the first slot. So Big Rock, for example, increases the entire team's basic skill damage by 12%. If I remove him, I put Igris. Igris provides everybody critical hit rate by 8%. The main thing to remember about this is it's not influenced by your combat power. It doesn't matter if you have lower or not. This is a flat amount you'll get. And these two units here, the second and third slot, will not give you their passives. What they do instead is they'll just use their skills just like Igris would. So very important to note. Now, as you are unlocking your shadows, one thing to remember is each shadow has a different rank. So you start off with the lowest possible rank, which is common, and then you can move up the ranks to elite, then knight, then elite knight, then general. General, when you finally get there, will unlock their weapon, which you can then use to go even further in terms of increasing their power. Right there, let's just show you an example. And this will further boost the shadow, which will then further boost your combat power overall as a unit, right? So you guys, like you see here, I'm going to do a few of these. Right here, right here, right here. Right, I've got the 3 there. So there you guys go. So that's completed, and now I've got more power overall, and that shadow there will now boost my overall combat power. So very, very important to remember that. That's how it works. Now shadows can be summoned throughout battle. Some modes like Guild Boss, they cannot be summoned, okay? If you want to know what shadows to focus on, go check out my shadow guide. It will absolutely help you. A couple different things to remember as well too. There are events going on a constant basis. Right now there's a Valentine's Day event. Always do these guys. They're super easy. Great way to get yourself simple things like blessing stones, getting yourself ruins, getting yourself resources. They're super, super simple and not time consuming whatsoever. All you got to do is jump in, and right now they're giving a free Woo skin away as well too. All you got to do is jump into the dailies, make sure you've completed them, and just play the mini game once in a while, and you're moving on and you're good to go. So events are a major, major part. To see events, all you got to do is click this, and you can see every single event going on, including the Alliance raid, which is something everybody should participate in for sure. And at the same time, there's also free loot you can get from these battle passes. Battle passes, you do dailies, weeklies, and seasonal missions, and as free-to-play players, they give you free stuff on the top chart. If you want to pay to get more things, you can at the bottom, but free-to-play players should absolutely be focusing on these as well too. All right, guys, I think I've pretty much covered majority of everything you need to know. If you are looking for a specific question when you watch this, please put it in the comment section. Go like, subscribe. Oh, and last thing, of course, before you start, make sure you go click that support button, get yourself some free codes. Content creators are allowed to give out codes every season, and this season we're giving out up to 9 codes, all right? And as being one of the top content creators for this game, I'm always guaranteed to get those codes, and I'll make sure that you guys have them. So that will be something you'll see in the beginning of the video as well. Again, if you have any comments or questions, guys, let me know in the comment section. I'm more than happy to answer it. This is Payne. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Take care.